How's it going, YouTube? Today I'm going to be reviewing the EDGE Super Joystick. Basically, it's a joystick for the SNES Classic. Pretty much just like the original EDGE for the NES Classic. Pretty much, it has all the same features, things like that as it did before, but just with the new design. Now, what you get in the box is, of course, the joystick itself and a couple accessories. You do get the optional bat joystick as well. You do get the joystick to USB adapter, of course, a manual, and then like the one before, you do get the cheat codes booklet as well. But of course, we're not here to see the accessories. We're here to see the joystick itself. Now, upon further analysis, pretty much feels the same quality as the first one, but the buttons are smaller. They're the 24 millimeter rather than the 30 millimeter, which some people may not like. I can't really tell the difference. I don't really play with joysticks too often to really really be able to feel the difference between the two. On top, we have slider controls for the turbo rather than the push button design on the original one. Start and select are in a nice area. I like them right here. They're a lot easier to push, and they're not like jumbled together with a bunch of other stuff like on the original one. As far as build quality, like I said, it does pretty much feel exactly the same as the other one. Same type of plastic. Now, the joystick onto it has a lot of walk, but I remember that when I got the original one, and then from there I modified it and put a basically like a wider gate, not a gate, but a stick post in the bottom. I forgot what it's called, and it has less walk than that, so I'm definitely going to be able to do the mod on this one. On the note, it is a sandwall joystick, so definitely a sandwall, so still using really good joystick part inside. The buttons, however, are the same ship buttons as they were before. I definitely am going to replace these. They suck. They're terrible. I don't know why they use these, but they're not as bad as the original one, to be honest. Because on the original one, I could just touch it like this and it would activate. On these ones, they don't seem to have that same kind of problem. But either ways, looking on the inside of it, I do have the cover popped open because I had to open it earlier. Pretty much everything is laid out pretty nicely. Oh, come on. Here is the joystick. Let me get my... Oh, there it goes. Alright, here's the joystick, core sound wall. Really nice placed. Usual ribbon cable. All the cables is a mess back here, but to be honest, it's not too bad. I do have less room to work with as far as depth goes. But I definitely am going to do the weight mod, where I'm going to add more weights into it. Probably more over here and on the bottom. Down over here is where I'm going to add more weight. But pretty much, it's pretty straightforward. It's a nice joystick. I really do like it. I like the way it feels and everything like that. Now, when I did get my joystick, I had an issue where on this panel right here, if I were to push start, it wouldn't work. And the only way it worked is if I move the slider up and then back down. And then if I had it up, it would work. And it kind of confused me. I was like, what the hell is happening? Maybe I have a defective product. And it wasn't like broken per se. On the back of the ribbon connectors over here, on this end, on the other side of the PCB, of course you have to screw it to see it, where they had soldered it, they were like barely touching. And I kind of thought maybe, well, when I first looked, I was thinking more or less it may have been an issue on this part of the board, and I looked around on top of the board right here. I did see like solder joints maybe could possibly be touching, But after I pretty much desoldered as much as I could off of that, so they didn't touch at all, it didn't relieve the issue. So I went back over here and I looked at it and I looked real hard. Almost pulled out my magnifying glass, but yeah, they were indeed touching barely, like by as little as they possibly could. But basically, it affected it. Now I scraped off the solder, gave it more of a gap, and it works perfectly fine. So it's fast, it's reliable, it's really nice. But again, I am going to be doing the same mods that I did on the other one, swapping out buttons, adding weight onto it, and putting a thicker gate onto it so the joystick doesn't have as much walk. And then I'm going to be putting a octagonal gate as well. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty good joystick. I like it. It's functional. It works. It's kind of interesting that it has a separate piece right here, but it definitely does work. But I'll catch you on next time whenever I make the modifications.